We're off to the Minnesota State Fair, where Ben Tracy has found an artist who works in, well, butter. See for yourself.
At the Great Minnesota Get-Together, a lot of time is simply spent eating together.
Except no imitations, it's the fair.
But to see what is perhaps this fair's most unusual tradition,
I'm going to see the butterheads you want to come with.
step inside the dairy building where a beloved indulgence is being transformed into a very unconventional work of art.
As goofy as it is, and it is goofy, it still really fulfills something for me.
Meet Minnesota's Michelangelo, Linda Christensen, who for 50 years has been carving her legacy in butter.
And by the way, it is grade AA salted butter, and it has to be salted. Unsalted butter is gummy and it sticks to my knife.
What is butter like as a medium?
It's actually wonderful to work with. I can work it a little bit and put some back on if I make a mistake and recarve it. It has a slightly translucent look to it, so it's very pretty.
Linda cuts into a 90-pound block of butter with a knife she calls Old Faithful.
The cold air from the compressor pumps in right in front of that door.
She works inside this refrigerated booth, chilled to just 40 degrees. Linda studied sculpture in school and got this job back in 1972 when the man who was doing it quit.
He got too cold.
He got too cold?
He got too cold.
He couldn't hack it?
He couldn't stand the cold.
They had to bring in a tough woman. So where are you at in the process?
I get as much of the face done as I can.
Over the course of about a single day, Linda painstakingly creates what Minnesotans affectionately call a butterhead.
It's one of the hallmarks of the Minnesota State Fair.
And the stakes are high. After all, Linda is sculpting royalty.
And now it has come to be that time.
On the eve of the fair's opening day, the Dairy Association crowns its goodwill ambassador, Princess Kay of the Milky Way. This year, the title went to 19-year-old Anna Early. What is this like for you to be sitting in here and having your likeness carved?
It doesn't feel real, to be honest with you.
And for those who have been immortalized in saturated fat,
we're a generation of butterheads. My mom was a butterhead, and I have two older sisters that were also butterheads.
A butterhead is something to treasure. Some have kept theirs frozen for decades, waiting for family members to claim their moment of fair fame and complete the photo. Former princesses often return to the fairgrounds to show their gratitude.
You've given us one of the greatest gifts a farm girl in Minnesota could have, and that's to be a butterhead.
In half a century, Linda has carved more than 500 Princess Kays.
That's exactly how her cheek is.
And members of her court.
I could go anywhere in this state and say I'm the butter sculptor at the state fair, and they would know somebody that I'd sculpted.
And she says she's happily been on the receiving end of plenty of Minnesota nice.
When she's done, they're fantastic.
Minnesota people are the most forgiving audience you could ever imagine. They think it's great no matter what.
Of course, a lot has changed over the years, most notably the many hairstyles. But Linda says something much more important evolved too.
When I first started in 1972, the women were all planning careers in areas that we considered being typical women's areas. Now, they're planning to take over the firm. Some of them already have their own herds.
And now things have also changed for Linda. A few years back, she left Minnesota winters behind and moved to California. At age 79, her hands don't tolerate the cold butter booth air as well as they once did. And so about a week ago, after revealing her final Princess Kay, Linda Christensen took out Old Faithful one last time and passed the butter knife to her successor.
Jerry, I expect you to take very good care and use it wisely. My butter knife.
What's this feeling like for you right now?
I have very mixed emotions. It's a sad time for me because I have looked forward to this every year for the last 50 years. But on the other hand, I've made it 50 years. That's something to celebrate.
50 years is a pretty good run.
It is a pretty good run.